All right, get ready because today we were going deep, really deep, like down to the bottom of the cosmic pool, you know?
Into the deep end.
Yeah, exactly. We're talking about civilizations, but not just any civilizations. Civilizations so advanced, so far beyond us that, well, our current technology would look like cave drawings to them.
Yeah, it's humbling, to say the least.
Absolutely. And we've got this YouTube video here. It's all in Chinese, so we've got the subtitles going, and it takes this idea, the Kardashev scale, and it just like blasts it wide open. It goes way beyond what we normally think about.
Yeah, the Kardashev scale, it usually stops at type 3, right? This video uses that as just the starting point. We're going to be looking at some really out there ideas about civilizations that are type 4 Veba size. They even talk about a type 7.
Type 7, wow. Okay, so just a super quick recap for anyone who hasn't thought about the Kardashev scale in a while. It's basically a way to rank how advanced a civilization is, right? Like how much energy can they use.
Yeah.
And according to this video, we humans, we're still way down here.
Down at the bottom.
Yeah, like a measly type 0. I mean, we're using energy from our planet, sure, but not in a super efficient way. Not even close.
Not even close. It really puts things in perspective. Even reaching type I, which is full planetary energy control, that's a huge milestone. To put it into perspective, think of it this way. If a type I civilization is like using a single AA battery,
Okay, I like where this is going.
a type 2 civilization, one that can harness the power of its entire star, that's like having all the energy of a major city at your disposal.
Whoa, okay, that's a serious power upgrade. But what about a type 3? What kind of analogy are we talking about there?
Attack 3, imagine the entire planet's yearly energy consumption. That's what they're wielding.
Okay, mind officially blown. So we're basically like, what, cosmic toddlers compared to these hypothetical super civilizations? But let's talk about these higher levels, the ones that go beyond what we usually hear about. The video dives into type 4 civilizations, which it calls universe civilizations. What does that even mean?
So what's interesting about Type 5 is they've gone way beyond just harnessing stars. We're talking about capturing the energy of supernovae.
Supernovae, those explosions that are brighter than entire galaxies.
Exactly. And they've supposedly mastered the creation of stable wormholes. These are like, shortcuts through space-time using something called strange matter.
Strange matter. Sounds intense.
It is. It's theoretical, but incredibly dense.
So they're not just zipping between stars, they're basically warping the fabric of the universe to travel. But hold on a sec, if they can travel anywhere, wouldn't they eventually, hit the edge of the universe?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. The video suggests that maybe, just maybe, these Type 5e civilizations have actually reached the edge and discovered that it loops back on itself.
Wait, what? So they could travel for millennia and end up right back where they started?
That's the idea. It really challenges our whole understanding of space and time.
That's... wow. So these civilizations, they've basically become masters of the universe. But what happens next? Do they just keep getting more and more powerful forever?
You'd think so, right? But not necessarily. The video actually suggests that some Type IV civilizations, they fall into like a decadent decline. They become so powerful that they lose sight of any meaning or purpose.
It's like that old saying, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
They have everything, can do anything, and they end up self-destructing.
So even with godlike power, they still face, very human problems. Lack of meaning, purpose. Makes you wonder, right? Like, does technological advancement always lead to a better existence?
It's a question worth pondering.
Definitely. But okay, let's move on to Type V, the multidimensional civilization. What makes them so special?
So Type B civilizations, according to this video, they basically merged with AI to become almost godlike beings. They exist as these vast interconnected networks of consciousness. They're not limited by physical form anymore.
Whoa. So it's like a cosmic internet of minds all sharing knowledge and experiences.
Exactly.
What kind of power does that give them?
Well, imagine being able to manipulate matter on a stellar scale, compressing stars, triggering supernovas at will. They could make gold as common as dirt, literally.
Wow. Talk about ultimate power.
But what's even more intriguing is the idea that these Type V civilizations, they might be the ones responsible for seeding life on other planets.
Wait, hold on. Are you saying they're like cosmic gardeners spreading life throughout the universe?
Something like that. The video suggests they might even guide the development of civilizations in subtle ways,
Hmm.
maybe influencing our thoughts and beliefs through prophets or philosophers.
So some of our spiritual traditions could be, what, echoes of these higher beings. That's a pretty wild thought.
It is. It really makes you wonder.
Okay, on to type 6, the parallel universe civilization. Now, this has got to be good. What do we know about them?
These guys, they've cracked the code on interdimensional travel. They draw on their knowledge of dark matter and dark energy, those mysterious forces that make up most of the universe, to move between parallel realities.
Parallel reality. So they're venturing into completely different universes. It's like something straight out of science fiction.
The video even talks about dark stars acting as gateways between these realities.
Dark stars. Okay, I'm picturing some seriously cosmic landscapes here. But what do they even do with all this power? What's the point of hopping between universes?
All right, get ready for this, because this is where it gets really strange. The video suggests they can actually experience life in lower civilizations, like inhabit them through some kind of consciousness transfer.
Wait, are you serious?
And get this, they even assign, like, points based on the difficulty of the life chosen.
So they're treating us like characters in a giant simulation. It's a chilling thought, but also kind of fascinating. Like, if you were a Type 6 civilization, what kind of life would you choose to experience?
That is a great question. What kind of difficulty points would you assign to your current life?
Ooh, that's a tough one. But before we get too lost in those alternate realities, we've got one more type of civilization to discuss. And this one, well, this one is the most mind-boggling of all. Type 7, the creator civilization.
This is where it gets really cosmic.
All right, lay it on me. What could be more powerful than civilizations that control entire universes and hop between dimensions? What's left?
Type 7. Well, they describe it as a single unified consciousness exists beyond all universes.
Whoa.
The source of everything.
So like the ultimate creator deity. The Big Bang was just like this entity having a thought.
It's a pretty profound concept. The video doesn't really give us any easy answers, of course. It just kind of leaves us with these big questions like, what does it even mean to exist outside of time and space? Why create countless universes?
Yeah, it's enough to make your head spin. It really is head-spinning stuff. It makes you wonder, like, are our human brains even capable of comprehending something that vast? But you know what I find interesting? How this video started with something kind of familiar, the Kardashev scale, and then took us on this wild ride into the completely unknown.
I think that's what makes it so compelling. It's like we're using this framework that we can at least grasp,
Yeah.
to explore ideas that are almost beyond human comprehension.
Yeah, like holding on to a handrail as you peer into this abyss.
Exactly.
Speaking of peering into the abyss, what stood out to you the most from all of this? Was it the wormholes, the idea of parallel universes, or that mind-bending concept of a Type 5 creator being?
For me, it's how they focus on energy as like the defining characteristic of these advanced civilizations.
Right.
It makes sense on one level. Energy drives everything, right?
Yeah.
Stars, technology, life itself.
Yeah.
But it also makes you wonder if there are other ways to, like, measure advancement,
Yeah.
Could civilization be incredibly advanced in terms of consciousness or empathy, even if they haven't, like, mastered manipulating stars?
That's a great point. It's like we're assuming that every civilization is going to follow this similar, like, technological path to our own.
Right.
But who knows? Maybe there are ways to evolve and advance that we haven't even, like, conceived of yet.
Exactly. It challenges our whole definition of what it means to be advanced or intelligent. Maybe some of the most advanced civilizations out there aren't building Dyson spheres or conquering galaxies. Maybe they're, focused on inner peace or artistic expression or, like, truly understanding the very nature of reality.
Okay, now my mind is really blown. So, listener, we've taken you from a Type 0 civilization like our own, all the way to a hypothetical Type 7.
A being that may have created everything.
It's a lot to take in.
It is. And that's just, the tip of the iceberg. The video we explore is just one perspective, one set of ideas. There are countless others out there waiting to be discovered, debated.
All right, before we go down too many more rabbit holes, let's shift gears for a bit. Remember those Type 0 civilizations we talked about? The ones just starting out, like us? Well, it turns out they might not be as rare as we think.
That's right. We're going to be talking about exoplanets, planets that orbit stars other than our sun.
Okay.
And specifically, planets that could potentially support life.
Yeah.
Maybe even civilizations at a similar stage of development to our own.
Ooh, alien neighbors. So how do we even begin to find these potential cosmic buddies?
We've got a research paper here from the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. PNAS for short.
Yeah.
And it presents a new statistical estimate for the number of potentially habitable planets in our galaxy, the Milky Way.
Okay, drum roll, please. How many are we talking about?
Hold on to your hats because the number is a whopping 300 million.
300 million.
That's 300 million planets
Yeah.
in our galaxy alone that could potentially have conditions suitable for life as we know it.
300 million, I can't even, like, imagine that many planets. Even if a tiny fraction of those actually have life, that's still, I mean, that's an incredible number of potential alien civilizations out there.
It is. And this research, it's based on data from the Kepler Space Telescope, which has been incredibly successful at finding exoplanets. The researchers, they focused on planets that are roughly Earth-sized and that orbit within their star's habitable zone.
Habitable zone, that's the sweet spot, right? Where temperatures are just right for liquid water to exist on the surface.
You got it. It's like a Goldilocks planet. Not too hot, not too cold.
Right, right.
And liquid water, it's seen as essential for life as we know it. So finding planets in this Goldilocks zone, it's a key part of the search for extraterrestrial life.
So some of these planets, they could have oceans, lakes, rivers, maybe even alien fish swimming around in them.
Maybe.
But I'm guessing it takes more than just water to create life, right?
Absolutely. Just being in the habitable zone, it's not a guarantee of life. A planet's atmosphere, magnetic field, geological activity, all of these things, they play a role in whether life can emerge and evolve.
Right. It's not as simple as finding a planet with water and declaring, like, aliens. But still, 300 million possibilities. That's pretty mind-blowing.
It certainly sparks the imagination. But let's say, just for fun, let's say we do find evidence of life on another planet.
Mm-hmm.
What then? How do we even begin to approach contact with another civilization?
Oh, yeah, that's a whole other can of worms. It would be one of the biggest events in human history, for sure. But it would also raise all sorts of, like, ethical questions.
Right.
How do we even communicate? What are the risks? Do we even want them to know we're here?
Those are questions that scientists and philosophers, they've been debating for decades. There are no easy answers. But I think it's important to start thinking about these issues now, before we're actually faced with the reality of alien contact.
Yeah. Like that saying, fail to prepare, prepare to fail.
Exactly.
But for now, we can only dream about what those first encounters might be like. Maybe they'll be friendly and welcoming. Or maybe, they'll be straight out of a sci-fi horror movie.
Hopefully it's the former.
Fingers crossed. But speaking of preparing, we've got one more topic to dive into today. And it's a bit of a shift in gears.
A plot twist.
Ooh, I love a good plot twist. What have we got?
We're going to be exploring the possibility of, ancient civilizations right here on Earth.
Wait, what?
Civilizations that may have predated the ones we typically learn about in history books.
So we're talking about, like, lost cities, hidden pyramids, ancient...
Not quite aliens, but definitely lost civilizations. We've got a research paper here published in the Journal of Archaeological Science that suggests our understanding of human history might be, a little incomplete.
Okay, now you've got my attention. What kind of evidence are we talking about here?
Well, the researchers, they point to several anomalies and unexplained phenomena that kind of challenge our current timeline of human civilization.
Yeah.
For example, there are these megalithic structures around the world, like Stonehenge, the pyramids of Giza.
Oh, yeah.
They display a level of engineering that seems to be, beyond the capabilities of the cultures that are traditionally credited with building them.
I've always been fascinated by those ancient structures. How did they move those massive stones? What tools did they even use? It's mind-boggling.
Exactly. And the researchers, they argue that these structures, they could be remnants of a much older, more advanced civilization that possessed knowledge and technologies that have been, lost to time.
So they're not saying, like, aliens built the pyramids, but they're saying there might have been a super civilization on Earth before recorded history?
That's the general idea.
Yeah.
They also point to some other intriguing evidence, like ancient maps that depict land masses that are now submerged, which suggests a much higher level of cartographic knowledge than previously thought possible.
Ancient maps showing lost continents. That sounds like something straight out of Indiana Jones.
Right. So are they saying this lost civilization, had advanced technology, spaceships and lasers and stuff? Well, they don't go that far. But they do suggest that these ancient civilizations might have possessed advanced knowledge in areas like astronomy, mathematics, and even energy manipulation.
Energy manipulation. Okay, now we're getting into some really interesting territory.
It is a bold claim, for sure.
Yeah.
They point to things like, the strange acoustic properties of certain ancient chambers, or the precise alignment of structures with celestial events
Hmm.
as possible hints of a deeper understanding of energy.
So maybe they weren't just building impressive structures, they were actually like harnessing energy in ways that we're only just beginning to understand now.
That's one interpretation, and the researchers, they admit that their ideas are controversial, and they definitely require further investigation. But they believe that the evidence is compelling enough to at least take a serious look at the possibility that our history books, they might be missing a few chapters.
I'll say, if they're right, this could completely rewrite our understanding of, human civilization.
Exactly, and it highlights just how much we still don't know about our own planet's past. Who knows what other secrets are waiting to be uncovered?
So, listener, are you ready to rewrite the history books? Imagine a civilization that predates ancient Egypt, a civilization with advanced knowledge and technology that we haven't even rediscovered yet. It's a tantalizing thought.
It certainly is, and it leads us to a question that's, well, it's as old as humanity itself. What is our place in the grand scheme of things? Are we the pinnacle of creation, or are we just one small chapter in a much larger story?
That's a great question to ponder. And speaking of grand schemes, let's turn our attention to a topic that's often seen as like the ultimate expression of human ambition. Space exploration. Space exploration. It's the final frontier, right? The stuff of dreams and sci-fi epics venturing out into the vastness of space. But is it all just like pie-in-the-sky fantasy? Or is there a real future for humanity out there beyond Earth?
That's the big question.
Yeah.
And we've got some perspectives here that range from uh, the very practical, the economics of space travel, all the way to the philosophical implications of like actually seeing our planet from a whole new angle.
Okay, I'm strapped in and ready for liftoff. What's our first destination on this cosmic journey?
Well, we'll start with an article from The Atlantic that brings us back down to Earth,
Yeah.
literally.
Hmm.
It argues that, while colonizing Mars or reaching for those distant stars sounds amazing, the costs and the technological hurdles, I mean, they're massive.
So a little dose of reality to balance out all those grand spacefaring visions.
Yeah. The author points out that even sending humans to Mars, which is relatively close in, cosmic terms, it would require a level of global cooperation and resource investment that, well, we just haven't seen before.
It's true.
And that's just getting there. We'd need spacecraft that can handle intense radiation, life support for, years-long missions, propulsion systems that are way more efficient than what we have now.
Yeah, it's not like booking a weekend trip to the moon. And even if we could pull off a Mars mission, there's that ethical question, right? What kind of impact are we going to have on another planet? What if there's like microbial life there already? Do we have the right to disrupt that?
These are some big questions to think about. And, the article argues that maybe, just maybe, we should focus on solving our problems here on Earth before we go trying to colonize other planets.
Yeah, makes sense to me. Like, get our own house in order before moving into someone else's place.
Exactly.
But even if we're not quite ready to pack our bags for Mars, I think there's no denying that space exploration has huge benefits, right? I mean, we've got GPS, satellite communication, all kinds of cool technology that came from pushing those boundaries in space.
And it's not just about the practical stuff either. Every
Yeah.
time we send a probe to another planet or, peer deeper into the universe with a telescope, we learn something new, something mind-blowing about our place in the cosmos.
Speaking of mind-blowing, let's switch gears to something a bit more philosophical. We've got an excerpt here from a book called The Overview Effect by Frank White, and it's all about, well, how seeing Earth from space can profoundly change a person.
It's that famous pale blue dot phenomenon, right? Astronauts seeing our planet as this tiny, fragile sphere just floating in the vastness of space. And White argues that it triggers a shift in perspective, a sense of awe and interconnectedness that can stay with them long after they return to Earth.
It's like you suddenly realize that all those borders and conflicts down here, they're pretty insignificant when you see the big picture. We're all on this one tiny planet, hurtling through space together.
Exactly. And White, he believes that sharing this overview effect with more people through images, videos, maybe even virtual reality, it could have a huge impact on society. Imagine if everyone could experience that sense of planetary unity, that understanding that we're all in this together.
It's like a cosmic wake-up call, reminding us to take care of our planet and each other. It's
Yeah.
powerful stuff. So we've gone from, pondering civilizations that can bend space-time to considering the impact of seeing our own planet from afar. It really
Ah.
puts things in perspective.
It does, and it shows how space exploration, it isn't just about rockets and robots. It's about expanding our understanding of ourselves,
Yeah.
our place in the universe,
Yeah.
our responsibilities to each other and to this planet that we call home.
Well said. So, listener, as we reach the end of this deep dive, we want to leave you with one final thought. What do you think is the ultimate goal of space exploration? Is it about seeking out new life, advancing technology, ensuring the survival of our species? Or is it something even deeper than that? A quest for knowledge and understanding, a desire to connect with the vastness of the cosmos, a yearning to explore those infinite possibilities that lie beyond our world. Whatever the reason, I think one thing is clear. The human spirit, it will always be drawn to the stars. And as we continue to explore, we're bound to uncover even more incredible wonders that will shape our understanding of the universe and our place within it.